Let us discuss about functional anatomy of respiratory system. Functional anatomy of respiratory system. This is physiology part, so we will discuss only physiology points. The first one is we have to know the number of alveoli present in our lungs. The number of alveoli in both the lungs. The total number of alveoli in both the lungs. They ranges from 300 to 500 millions. 300 to 500 millions. Surface area of total alveoli. Surface area of total alveoli is 50 to 100 meter square. 50 to 100 meter square. There is a the respiratory tract is divided into certain generations. You see, suppose it is trachea. Now trachea will divide into bronchi, right? So bronchi will again divide into bronchioles. So there is division as we go down the respiratory tract, and each division is called generation. There are 23 such generations. There are 23 such generations. Here trachea is considered as zero generation. Trachea is considered as zero generations. The first 16 generations is called conducting zone. The first 16 generations is called conducting zone, and the remaining 7 generations, that is from 17 to 23 generations, this is called respiratory zone. Respiratory zone. The last 16th generation is terminal bronchial. The last 16th generation is terminal bronchial. Here 17 to 19th generation, this includes respiratory bronchial. 20 to 22 generations it includes alveolar ducts. 23rd generation is alveolar sac. So this is about the generations. Next, from trachea to alveoli, as we go down from trachea to alveoli, the diameter decreases. The diameter of airway decreases. And probability of turbulence decreases. And the cross section is minimum at third generation. Cross section is minimum at generation 3. As all of us know, cross sectional area is inversely proportional to velocity, right? So the velocity of air at generation 3 will be maximum. Okay, Bronchoconstriction due to irritation is due to cholinergic mediated. Okay, if the bronchoconstriction is stimulated by some irritants, and that will be mediated by cholinergic cholinergic system. So bronchoconstriction which is stimulated by irritants, this is due to cholinergic mediated cholinergic system or cholinergic mediated. Okay, now bronchodilation is due to adrenergic. Okay, bronchoconstriction is due to adrenergic and non-adrenergic stimulation. Non-adrenergic stimulation. And the neurotransmitter that is released here is vasoinhibitor peptide. Okay, neurotransmitter is VIP. This is neurotransmitter. So one thing you have to remember is adrenergic and non-adrenergic systems, they belong to sympathetic system. So sympathetic system, it causes bronchoconstriction. Sorry, this is not bronchoconstriction, this is bronchodilation. Bronchodilation will be mediated by adrenergic and non-adrenergic system. The neurotransmitter here is VIP. This is sympathetic system. Sympathetic system, it mediates vasodilation, whereas parasympathetic system, it mediates vasoconstriction. Okay, parasympathetic system will be stimulated by irritants, as said before. Okay, now cilia will be present up to respiratory bronchioles. Cilia are present up to respiratory bronchiole. Respiratory bronchiole. Cartilage and submucous glands will be present up to bronchi. Cartilage and submucosal glands. They will be present up to bronchi. Smooth muscles will be present up to respiratory bronchiole. Okay, smooth muscles will be present up to respiratory bronchiole. So this will maintain the tone of airway. Maintains tone. Okay. Next, moving to epithelium lining the trachea and large bronchi. Epithelium lining trachea and large bronchi. It is columnar. Epithelium lined by bronchioles, it is cuboidal, and this is ciliated. Okay, epithelial lining the bronchioles, it is cuboidal and it is ciliated. At the alveolar level, alveoli, the epithelium lining area is simple squamous. Simple squamous. Okay, there are certain non-ciliated cells like Clara cells. These Clara cells will be present in bronchioles. And these are non-ciliated cells. And there will be pulmonary neuroendocrine cells also. Pulmonary neuroendocrine cells. This can be either as single neuroendocrine cells or as clusters. This is about the functional anatomy. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about the Clara cells and pulmonary neuroendocrine cells in detail.